Welcome to In Deep, a podcast by Laura Eniver
and myself, Flick Parmentier. Join us as we dive deep into what it takes to break the mould and have the courage to step into the unknown.
because we're all certain to get stuck in some deep shit along the way. Wowee! Guys, girls, kids, dogs. Everybody, we are back for season 2 of In Deep. We've had a bit of a break, but in the break we've been planning, plotting, scheming.
Life update. First of all, we've got an exciting announcement. We have got an update for In Deep podcast. So we've got a new member of our team,
yes.
which is super exciting. Kiara, who's actually my bestie, who's moved in with me here as well.
We thought, what better way to just like really bring it into the family. We've got a new producer, Kiara, and she's living here in your 1-bedroom apartment. You guys are basically like swapping between the couch and the bed every night, right?
Oh, yeah. No, we're sisters. We've known each other for over 20 years, but it just seemed like a natural fit for her to come on board because we've needed the help just with our schedules and managing that. So it's cool to have another person on the In Deep team, and we'll get more into introducing her later on in the season. But we're super excited by that because we need someone to give us a bit of a kick up the arse every now and then to sort out our lives.
Us two airy fairies. We need a good old English teacher to come in and tell us how to spell right, speak right, say fuck less.
Get our shit together.
So there's going to be way less swearing in this season.
Really?
Maybe not. To be continued. We'll see. But no, so excited to we just have such a beautiful little fam going on, and it's just really fun. It keeps it just exciting. We've got some really amazing topics and guests that we have lined up for this season, it just makes me so excited. And you know, both of our schedules are pretty crazy, but we, they're all coming together.
Yeah, it's coming together. Season 2 is shaping up to be a goodie. It's going to be a big one.
Thanks for hanging in there, our listeners.
Oh, yeah, no, we've been a bit erratic. We've been sporadic all over the joint. We're on a break. We're not on a break. We're launching one next week. We're not. So just thanks for hanging in there with us because we appreciate you guys.
We love you.
Yeah, thank you so much. But
should we kick off Season 2 with the winner of our Sunnies giveaway.
Okay, yeah.
Our lovely giveaway that we did. Thank you, lovely, for giving 2 of our amazing listeners a nice fresh pair of shades. And we randomly chose from all the comments sent in.
The winner is Caitlin Walker and her friend Marie Jennings. So You guys are going to be receiving your pair of Loveloo Sunnies. Thanks to Loveloo, and thank you guys for everyone that entered and for giving all your feedback on what your favourite episodes were because, been to work and going to judge that for season 2, so it was a good little indicator.
And I mean, thinking back on, our first season, it's so cool because, it was so scary starting this podcast, and, putting out there all of the stories and our experiences, and honestly, it's like, it's been healing for me in a way to just like get those things out there and just like, you got to own your story. And I feel like there's one of the best ways to even heal from stuff that you've gone through is just to freaking talk about it. And it's been so good for us to sit down on this couch or on our table or wherever we are and just like go through all of our experiences and all these funny life stories. And so we've got some funny stories coming for us for you guys today.
Oh, super funny. Before that, should we go into a little life update?
Yeah, I'm jumping around. The ADHD's flaring.
You go first.
Shit.
So last time we were together, we were rewind 2 weeks ago. We're down in Melbourne for Glamour on the Grid.
Oh, yes. We went to our first Juji Glamorous Festival at the F1 down in Melbourne, and it was super exciting. Very last minute. We both ended up wearing dresses from the same designer that we had in our wardrobe that we had. Actually, you wore it to my New Year's Eve party.
I did.
Yeah.
I feel like it didn't get enough wear, so I was like, perfect opportunity to wear that.
Totally.
The dress code was like elevated glam, right? And we both never been to this event. And
we both wore little minis.
Well, I didn't realise. So my experience of this event, I had to work the morning in Sydney, then I flew down to Melbourne that night, right? And I just felt like the whole time I was catching my tail, I was like, oh my God, am I going to make it? Am I not going to make it? I'm going to make it to hair and makeup. I'm not going to make it to hair and makeup. Made it to hair and makeup, got the glam, glam. And obviously Melbourne weather, crazy, super hot 1 minute, raining the next. And I walk out of full glam and it's pissing down and I'm running through the fucking rain and I'm like, oh my God, my glam's all gone. My hair was a bit of a mess and I was like, oh, this is shit. I think you were like, sis, where are you? We've got to leave on the phone. I was like,
totally.
Fuck, bro, like I'm just like only just finishing up. My hair's all wet. Anyway.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, it's not every day we get our hair and makeup done to the nines, and then both of us, you got stuck in the rain, and then I went to buy a pizza because I was starving. I'm like, got to eat a pizza before I go to this event. And then on the way home, I'm walking with my pizza, and then it just started pissing down. I'm like, wow, we just sat in hair and makeup for like 3 hours, and then we're just getting absolutely drenched.
Oh,
you know, we went for the surfer girl, the wet girl look.
We did, and we arrived, right? So we arrived at this event. Oh, it was absolute gridlock traffic on the way there, just bumper to bumper. We're in the Uber, like, oh my God, are we going to make it? Because it said on the invitation, arrivals strictly between 7:30 and 8:30. I was like, what happens if we get there after 8:30?
It was like 8:15 and we were stuck in gridlock traffic, and I said to Flick, I'm like, I thought like maybe at 8:30 they'd just close the door and be like, sorry, we don't care if you flew all the way down here. You didn't get here before 8:30, so piss off.
Well, it just seemed a bit strict. Well, it said strictly.
Yeah,
and I was like,
strictly.
Scary.
So we're stuck in this gridlock traffic and we literally were like, we're not going to make it. What do we do? And it was still like drizzling. And I was like, nah, Flick, we got to get out and run. And I was wearing this like white dress and there was like puddles and mud. And we're like
not
in
ideal.
our nice heels, just like trotting through the mud, like running past all these cars.
You're a fast walker. We know this. We've talked about this in last season.
Yeah, and I'm back. I'm back now.
She's back into fast mode, everyone. And like, I think since I broke my foot last year, my foot has never been the same and I just can't wear heels anymore after that night. Anyway, we got out of the car and I was like, wait for me, because I can't walk fast in heels. My foot is completely, it's just broken in a way that I don't think it'll ever be the same.
Sad.
It is, but like really, heels are fun every now and then, but they're not the end.
You need to do what I did at New Year's Eve and just chuck it in the champagne ice bucket before chucking it in the heel. Just ice your foot and then be like, we're ready to go.
I know. It was a really sad revelation. Anyway, I hope that's not true. But we arrived, right? And I love to be dressed up. Like if there's a dress code or like a fancy dress, I'm like all over it. I feel like my wardrobe back in Western Australia, which I didn't bring here, is completely outrageous, ostentatious. I like sparkle. I like colour. I like anything disco, like bring it. And I rocked up and I saw people in giving the most outrageous. And I was like, I loved my dress, but I was like, you blew it, sis. Like if there was ever one time that you wanted to get dressed up and like be you, this was it and you fucking blew it. You blew it.
Oh, I thought you looked so good.
I looked great. I loved what I wore.
We were matching.
Yeah, okay, I loved that part, sis. Don't worry, loved the one we were
you
matching.
wanted to be a disco ball. We were black and white, salt and pepper.
It was very cute for the look we were going for, I will say.
Cute.
But next time, there will be a next time. I will be going and I will be.
Yeah, well, I think maybe we organise our dresses like a month before.
Not the day before?
Yeah, not the day before.
Checks out though.
Oh, I know. Kind of fish out of water vibes, but.
Oh, we get there, we had hair and makeup done. It was a bit trash from the weather and the rain. But then there was all these activations, you know, where you could like put on a Formula One helmet and no one was putting on this Formula One helmet. All the girls were like, ooh, no. Like, you know, all these fun
Don't ruin your hair. And me and Flick just walk in, have one champagne, we're like, let's put that helmet on. and the people that were shooting it were like, whoa, first person of the night to put the helmet on. I'm like, okay.
Riv in. It was good fun. And then, where did you go that next morning, sis?
Okay, so.
Or where didn't you go?
Went to Lisbon. I did a shoot over there. I literally flew over there for 2 days. And like I did 2 days of flying to get there, 2 days shooting, 2 days back, and then straight into like a movie premiere in Sydney, which was really cool. At the same time, you were in Fiji. And that looked amazing.
Yeah, it was so good. Fiji was, so I spoke about it last season, but I got a really exciting job. That's why I've moved to Sydney. It's a hosting role for a new show that's been bought by Channel 9. Anyway, so we go to Fiji for the first international trip.
So fun.
It's everything water related, from like, you know, super yachts to big power boats.
It looks like a dream job.
Oh, for like a water girl, I'm like, this is it. Like,
that is amazing.
Great Barrier Reef to the Ningaloo Reef, all over the world, tropical destinations, any crazy water activity you could think of, we're doing it.
And this time you actually got to surf, which was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Because you guys like just randomly scored an early season spell in Fiji.
That was by chance.
Yeah.
So basically, we went there with this shoot was booked in like, you know, a couple of months in advance, and all of a sudden the stars aligned and this swell ended up happening on the one day that we were supposed to surf. So it was cool. I finally got to surf Cloud Break. And
Cloudbreak is my favourite wave in the world. I literally try to go there like fucking 3 times a year. Oh, as much as I can get there. It's the best. And I'm so glad that Flick got to surf it because now she's going to want to come on a trip with me. She's got the freaking Fiji Cloudbreak bug
on the bucket list because I think if you think back to all the big waves that we usually surf from Jaws to Waimea to Mavericks, they're all rights. And I'm a goofy and I'm like, I just want to surf a big wave on my forehand, everyone. So I finally got to see, it wasn't like giant size, but it was just beautiful, so big barrels and it was amazing and it was on the bucket list and now I'm like, I just want more. So we're going back, sis.
Last year we went there for that massive swell, that thundercloud swell, and I got one of the worst wipeouts of my life there. And it was actually that I remember getting there and it was, we'll have to put some vision in of this, but it was like, I don't know, this wave Cloudbreak when it gets huge is like one of the heaviest, gnarliest, scariest waves in the world. And I took off on this set and I was like, I've got it. And then I was like, nah, I don't. My tail slid out on the wave and then I just like tumbled down the face and then it was the first wave of the set. So I got absolutely flogged on that. And then the next freaking 6 sets just like steamrolled me. And then I came out and like Chris was like on a jet ski and he basically was like, oh, I'm going to save my sister. Like literally thought I was drowning.
Oh my.
He gets over to me and I think another water safety got to me first and I got out and I was almost seeing stars. I was so dizzy. It was like one of the longest, gnarliest hold downs of my life. And I got back to the boat and I was like, oh, Chris, my ear hurts. I was like, what's going on? Because we just got our ears pierced.
Oh yeah, I remember like the week before.
You know how you get a piercing and they're like, don't go in the water for like
sorry, big swell, must go to Fiji.
It's not like 3 weeks. You're not meant to go in the water.
Probably 6 or something. I think I don't know.
And I'd gone in the water obviously because I was like, this is the swell of the fucking the best swell in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And anyway, I was like, Chris, what's going on in my ear? And he was like, oh my God, my brand new like stud, which was like this love heart, like flat love heart, had literally
it wasn't cheap either. That
I was like, I can't feel the front of the thing, but I can feel the back of it. What's going on? And he's like, oh, your earring is literally inside your earlobe. Like it literally had been pushed through and it was like, it'd been pushed and like you couldn't see the front of it. It was just skin, but then the earring itself was inside the ear. And he was like, what do I do? And
it's
I was
embedded in there.
I don't know. And he's like, I'm just going to push it out. And he just went popped it out and my whole ear hole was just bleeding. I was like, wow. I also got my 10-point ride in Fiji. My only 10 I ever got on tour. And I still lost the heat.
You know that every time we do commentary, they always send through the stats at every event and they send through stats of every 10. And there's like there's like a list at the bottom of surfers who have lost a heat with a 10. And I'm like, oh, Laura. I love you. And I love the way you surf big consequential waves. But that is just too freaking funny that stat is on there. Every time I look at the sheet that comes through for any event and it's on there, I'm like, that's hilarious. But sad, but hilarious.
Oh, doesn't that just, I feel like that just like encapsulates my whole time on tour. Like get a 10-point run and you still lose. And it was like I still remember that wave. It was so awesome. And then, Carissa Moore just still managed to wallop me. She got like a 9 and
bloody
9
Carissa.
and 9. I got 2 9s and I got like a 10 and a 7. I was like, what the fuck? Still can't win with a 10?
No.
After I got that 10 and lost, I went a bit loony on the island. I just started hitting the Tavarua bar.
Too many Mai Tais, too many Long Island ice, pina coladas.
Yeah, lots of pina coladas. And then they used to have the commentary booth set up on Tavarua. And so I remember like Ronnie and must have been like Ronnie and Joe, whoever, they were in the booth and they were doing like the breakdown of the day. And all the girls, we had this like inflatable whale pool toy and they were like, Laura, I dare you. I double dare you. I'm like, oh, you only need to single dare me to do that, mate. But they're like, we dare you to like go take the whale and like walk into the background of the commentary booth on the beach and like just stand there with this whale looking out to sea.
Did you have a drink in one hand and the whale in the other? Like, woo and the boo.
Oh, yeah.
Take it away.
God, we're really babbling on, guys. Oh, my gosh. What's your woo and boo of the week? My
woo of the week is that my best friend now lives with me and we have never lived together. We've been friends for 25 plus years. We worked out the other day, which is crazy.
So you guys met when you were like 5?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love that, Kiara. So cute.
So it's been so good. It's been really nice. And I got home from, where was I? Oh, WA. I was home for a week in WA and she flew here and then she was here before me and I flew home from WA that night. And I got in the door and she'd already like cooked steak and mashed for me and veggies. And she's like, welcome home.
Oh my God, that's so
it was super cute. She's done
and
that.
your car's here too.
I know, but she's done that a bunch of times. So I got home from Fiji and she's like, do you want any snacks? Anything for when you get home? I'm like, so nice. I'm like, if only you were a dude. I was like, we'd be set for life. I'm like, wow, it's actually so good. It's so nice. And like, it's such early days, but super excited, obviously, to be living together.
But you guys have a pact, right? You guys have this like little thing going that like, what was it? You've told me a few times that if you get to a certain age.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what? Oh, yeah. We're going to have a blend.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No.
Well, just like, it was jogging in my memory. And
You're
then
like,
I was
what the
like,
fuck are you talking about?
Huh?
I'm like, yeah.
So basically, we're like, okay, we're both single chicks. Like, if we haven't found someone, you know, I don't even know, we haven't really put a cap on it, but we're going to bring up a blended family, you know. Kiara maybe give me one of her eggs. I get some sperm from somewhere. She could, let's just say we can get the same sperm donor. I can use her egg. She can have her own. And then we'll have a nice little blended family of our own.
Any boo of the week?
Oh, the boo is, I feel really bad about this boo because I should know better. And you scolded me last time. Yeah, I know, you know it's coming. But everyone, I went to Fiji and I got sunburnt. Boo! really
But
bad.
like, yeah,
I'm talking bad, everyone.
No,
anyone
guys.
watching, please watch this now.
No, wait, don't we have the photo of
We do. But anyone who's watching, please have a look.
take your clothes off, sis.
It's
What's
like
under there?
really not well.
Oh, whoa. Okay, this is bad.
The boo.
Okay, no wonder you're allowed to wear this Trump shirt.
Yeah, I have to cover.
Oh, no. Okay, if you can't see what she's doing there, guys, she is peeling like the worst peeling I've ever seen in my life. And I remember you've told me before, you're like, no, I don't peel.
Well,
and like,
my whole forehead peels.
Yeah, and since doing this TV show, you peeled twice, one on your forehead and one on your back.
It's this bloody show. I need to like take more care of myself.
You need to literally have someone hide just a slap on you.
Someone to slap and slap me.
Literally.
Oh, so that's my boo. What's yours, sis?
You're a bit irresponsible there. Naughty.
Naughty.
Word of the week is that I got an email the other day that it's literally been like the elephant in the room since my injury, right? I spent 5 days in hospital. If you're listening for the first time or something, almost chopped my leg off in Hawaii with my fin on the beach after competing in the Eddie. It was just a freak accident.
It's a bad laceration, everyone.
Bad lacerations, 5 hour surgery, was in hospital 5 days, almost missed my own wedding. Anyway, international US hospital bills are gnarly.
Oh, I believe it.
It was
you and me
gnarly.
both just racked up some serious coin over there in the last year.
I was going back and forth with the insurance company. Love you, cover more. Thank you so much. Anyway, they were able to cover me and
woo-hoo! Applause again.
So this is like anyone's, if you're going traveling soon, get international travel insurance. Do it. Just pay for it. You never know when it. I've had insurance. I've paid for insurance like every year when I've been traveling since I was 15. I never needed it until this time, and just thankful that they were able to cover that because it would have just been gnarly, and not a lot of people get caught out, and it's just like,
well, it's US dollars, 150k US, so that's like you're almost doubling that in Aussie.
So this is your sign to get travel insurance. Like, just pay that extra money. It's like you just never know when it's going to save you. And anyway, so that was a big woo because I got the email and I felt like my heart dropped and I was like, oh, opening it, and they're like, approved. So that was great. And that was after.
What a sigh of relief. Thank God.
Totally. And that was after I'd landed in Lisbon. Which comes to my boo of the week. Something my insurance won't cover because I just sometimes can be an absolute dumb. And I fell asleep for too long and missed my international flight to Lisbon.
Crazy.
What the hell?
I don't know
so that was the boo of the week. That was just like...
I mean, look, it
just happens. I was very tired and just slept through the alarm that I'd set, and it was just I was actually in the airline lounge halfway there, and then just Yeah.
So instead of arriving the night before the shoot, you arrived the morning of, correct?
And then went straight into the shoot for 2 days, and I didn't even tell them. I was
you
like, don't
were
know.
on a plane for that whole duration longer than what you were actually on ground in Europe. That is crazy.
I know, but honestly, I've had a pretty good track record as well, except the last 2 years I've missed one flight leaving Lisbon to Australia and then one flight going from Australia to Lisbon. I'm like, I don't know, man. I just need to I need to turn my volume up on my alarm or something.
We'll set a few more, not just one. Which is a beautiful segue into today's episode, because we are going to dive deep into some crazy, funny, silly travel stories from 20 plus years on the road traveling. And we've got a fair few, but we've narrowed them down. And we thought we'd ping pong between each other to just spit out a couple of our best ones.
Oh my gosh, totally. And I feel like we still need to get my mum on the potty, because she remembers so many more stories than I do. I feel like there's this big gap of I'm trying to remember these things that have happened that you're like, oh my gosh, it's actually hard to just, pinpoint a few.
Yeah, it is.
All right, we haven't actually told each other our stories yet, so they're going to be surprises. So are you going to go first or me?
Look, I'm happy to go first. I think I might have told you this, and I hope that your memory may be jogged while I explain.
Okay.
So,
what did you do? What happened? Where were you? Take us back there.
I've told you this.
Okay, where were you?
So I was early 20s and on a surf trip with a bunch of girls, and I was in Mexico and I was staying in an Airbnb. And
scary, dangerous.
When you're younger, going to the toilet is a bit of a thing. You're like, oh no, I can't possibly go to the toilet and leave a poo in the toilet if it doesn't flush or what, it's just a bit of a scary thing. You're like, oh, no one can be in the house when I go to the toilet. God forbid I actually poo. I can't poo. I don't poo. I'm a girl. I don't even fart.
Only every single person on the planet does a poo.
Exactly. So we're talking about an in-deep shit moment.
Oh my God. That literally just reminded me that my story has fuck, shut up, Laura, it's Flick's turn.
Right, back to my story, everyone. Everyone poos.
I'm sorry.
Now, I am in this Airbnb. The girls are out in the living room and, we're all having a good time. And I'm like, oh, God, I need to go to the toilet. So I run in there and, I do my business. And for some reason, the toilet kind of breaks. I try and flush it and it doesn't flush. And I'm thinking, shit. God, can't go back out there and there's a poo in the toilet. What do I do? Yes. And so I get a little bit of toilet paper. It gets better. And I scoop it out. And it was great that there was some bushland across the road.
Nope.
So I chuck it out the window. And so then the people that I was staying with, the next day we all go to, I think okay, problem solved. Don't even have to think about that anymore. That's great.
Just thrown it into a cactus.
Cactus will take care of that poo.
Holy shit.
So this is great. Problem solved. Bob's your uncle.
Oh my goodness.
Next morning, should we go and get a coffee? Should we go out to go get some breakfast? Walking down the driveway, one of the girls is like, what the fuck is that smell? This is a really gross story, but it's hilarious.
This is so gnarly.
It is so funny though, because everyone has a silly poo story of I don't care who you are, and if you're sitting there thinking, I don't have one, you do have one. And we're walking down the driveway and everyone's, what's that smell? And it's like, okay, yeah, dog shit smells bad, but human shit is worse. And I was just
my dog's rolled in it before, and I was like, nah, that doesn't smell like a horse or a dog poo. And you
that is a human.
Then you're like, you got a pine nut on you. What the fuck?
Dogs don't eat pine nuts.
That's always randomly just a pine nut.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ.
So anyway, I've learnt my lesson now. I don't poo shame. It's you know what? If the poo doesn't flush, just walk out and be like, don't go in there for a second, guys. Just need to flush it again. Just needs to wait. But panic set in.
Dude, the panic. My stomach hurts actually realising the panic of that situation. Oh.
So anyway, rogue, but funny. You can't tell me that anyone listening now doesn't have a rogue poo story. I'm sorry, but if you've travelled, if you've been staying with people, you're in your first relationship with your boyfriend, I can't possibly poo in front of him. Come on, everyone has one.
Okay, well, my story, actually, now that we're on the topic, ends in the same way, but I forgot about the end part because the first part is the crux of the story, right? So I'm on this photo shoot and we're up on the Sunshine Coast, and so we were driving we were driving along the beach to get to like this spot that we were shooting for the day and surfing, and the filmer decided that we were in this like really old troopy, right? And it's like the troopy was so old, but it was so cool, but like the door didn't even open on it. It was just like, and it was only manual, right? So I had my license, but I don't know how to drive manual. So one of the younger girls who literally just got her license but learnt manual was like, oh yeah, I'll drive it. Like I know how to drive manual. So anyway, we're driving up this beach and she's driving this cool car. We're getting like all these rad photos, and the filmer decides, he's like, hang on, I want to go on the bonnet of the car quickly and film this because it'll look so cool shooting through the window. Anyway, so me and this girl still have like PTSD from this day.
I know this story and I'm getting scared again.
Yeah, anyway, so we're driving along the beach and she's like, we're kind of just tripping out there, he's on the bonnet and he's like, no, it's sweet, I'm holding on, it's great. Anyway, she goes to change the gear and the car kind of jumps and stalls. Oh. And it like in the meantime of it jumping and stalling, he rolls off, but then the car starts going again. Oh, and we just feel him go under the front wheel of the car.
Like goof.
Yeah, like we feel the boop boop, and then she slams on the brakes and we just hear screaming like, ah, ah. And I'm just like, oh my God. And we were inside the car, but like, and I was just thinking, oh my God, what am I going to like open this door up to? Like, have we just like is he going to be like dead, or is he going to be like really like, just like we're on a remote beach in Queensland. And it just happened so fast. Like it was so dumb. Like I felt uncomfortable with him there on the bonnet, but then when he's rolled off and gone under the car, I was just like, no. And anyway, so my door, I'm in the passenger side door and he's gone under the passenger side wheel, but my door doesn't open, right? Oh. And so my window's down and I just like go into like, it's like, it's true what you say in like in those like wild moments, like something comes out of you. It's like this warrior. And I literally dove out my window, and those troopies are like pretty tall. Oh, yeah. And I dove out and did a forward roll onto the sand, like pretending I'm
commando roll.
Here. And I see him and he's wedged under the wheel, like on his tummy. And I just start trying to pick up the troopy, like, ooh! And then anyway, I'm like, reverse the car. And
so he was completely under the wheel.
He was completely under the wheel, screaming, and he was like, ah. And I'm like, oh my God, is his like whole inside squashed? Like what's going on? Anyway, so she reverses the car, and she was so scared to reverse because she's like, I hope this just doesn't like jolt forward like before it goes back. No. Anyway, reverses off him, and he just like stands up and is like touching himself and is like, I'm sweet, I'm okay. And he had this massive bruise. I think he maybe had broken a rib, but he had this massive car tyre wheel on his torso. And I'm just sitting there like bawling my eyes out going, oh my God, are you okay? Like I thought you were going to like be dead or like something. And he was like, I'm actually sweet, I'm sore. But like because we were like, it's kind of like if he'd gone under the other wheel that was in the hardest sand towards the ocean, like maybe he wouldn't have like...
Oh, got it.
Because the sand was like so semi-soft, it pushed him under and it gave him a bit of space between the wheel. Like I guess so enough space. Anyway, it was the scariest moment ever, and I was crying, and the girl driving was crying, and everyone on the shoot had just kind of driven ahead of us. They didn't know what was going on. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so gnarly. Like, and I can't believe you're okay. Like, and we just kind of got back in the car, and he's like, it's all good, girls, calm down. I'm sweet. Let's just get back in the car and keep driving. And like, I calmed myself down, and we get back in the car and we start driving, and he's kind of like trying to laugh about it, going like, it's all good, like, sweet. And then all of a sudden I just like, I'm sitting there and I just like, kind of come to and go, why is there a lump in my undies? And I was like, hey guys, I think we need to stop the car.
Stop!
I think I shit myself. I fully forgot about that part of the story.
Shut up. Yeah, well, there's a lot of trauma that's happened before that.
And what they say is like sometimes when you're in so much shock, you just like, your bowels like...
Yeah, well, they're going to evacuate.
It wasn't a lot. It was literally just like the tiniest bit, but I was just like... And so I get out of the car and I'm like, I've got to go for a swim. And so I jump into the ocean and I just like...
You did the biggest nervous poo that's ever existed.
Well, it was just a tiny thing. But it was just like, it was like out of shock, you know.
It was in the scheme of the situation.
Oh God, I must have PTSD because my tummy hurts telling that story.
Oh. All right, let's move on to something a bit more funny.
Lighthearted.
Well, we were on this surf trip together and we were in Indonesia. And it was a bit bigger this day, the surf. It was about 6 foot. It was stomping and...
Stomping?
Stomping. It was stomping. Hoofing. It was chuffing. It was big.
It was.
And it was solid. And...
Stomping. I'm going to have to use that one. Oh, the waves are stomping today.
It sounds so bogan of me, but let's be real. I'm a bogan.
So is it a bongo swell?
Bingo bongo. Bingo bongo. So it was big and I had my period. And obviously I'm not going to let that stop.
Every month.
I'm not going to let that stop me. Put up the tampon and off we trot. We put on the bikini and trot off for this surf at Yo-Yo's. And we're out there and it's big and I take off on this wave and, you know, catch a few. I'm feeling pretty good. All of a sudden this bigger one comes through. I'm like, right, I'm going this one. This feels really good. I'm on my backhand, so I got my back to the wave. I drive off the bottom. It's super powerful wave and I use all my muscles, obviously my pelvic floor muscles, pushing really hard, and I shoot this tampon out of my vagina, straight into my bikini. I'm like, whoa!
You
pew!
are kidding me. Like a ping pong girl from Thailand.
Pew, pew! Then,
are you kidding?
Then, I'm like, well, I still want to keep surfing, so I just keep it up in there, and I'm obviously not going to chuck it out into the ocean. So then I just surf with this like bloody tampon in there, and I'm like, well, what am I going to do? It's only like I'm a woman. It happens every month. It's like not going to let it stop me from bloody doing what I love, competing, all those things.
People always say like, oh, aren't you scared of sharks, like surfing in your period? But wait, I've never even thought of that.
No, never.
No, but oh, man. Those tampon strings as well. Geez, they're nightmares when you're doing a shoot and you're like randomly look down, you've done like a whole bunch of photos and you're like, oh great.
Tampon strings.
It's going to need to be some retouching there.
I just tuck it straight up in there now.
So some people do the snip as well, like cut the string, but then, anyway, far out. That is funny, sis. I can't believe that. Pew!
Pew! There it goes. Wow.
Holy shit. This one's actually like a pretty funny one because it was kind of like it was like a trip that kind of went wrong and then kind of made the most of it in the end. But basically I was in China for this WQS ride and I'd flown all the way there, first comp of the year, lost first heat. The waves were like tiny. And when I was over there, I knew that like this swell of the year was going to this wave P-Pass in Micronesia. And as soon as I lost, I was just like, nah, like not having it. I just looked online and I was like, how can I get to P-Pass for this swell? And I think a couple of my best mates were going over for it and they're like, come. And I was like, all right, sweet. Like, but you need to get there on this date and land in Guam because there's only a little flight, like a little internal flight to island hop every 2 days or like 2.5, 3 days.
Otherwise you miss the swell.
And once exactly. So I kind of had worked out my flight, spoke to the travel agent and she was like, yep, you're going to fly to China, to Seoul. And then, anyway, I get to Seoul, which is in Korea, and I had missed my next connecting flight. And that was just like so scary in itself because I think I'd flown I think maybe China Airways and they were like, yeah, sorry, you missed your flight. And I arrived, it was like 11 p.m. and they're like, we're just going to have to send you to like a hotel. And I was thinking, oh, great, I get a free hotel for the night. Then I'm like, oh, Devo, because I kind of knew by this stage, I was like, I'm probably going to miss this like island hop flight. But I was like, okay, let's just get through the night. It was 11 p.m. They send me in this like bus to this hotel, which ended up being like an hour away from the airport. And I like am in this like city of Seoul, like 12 o'clock at night, like on my own with my huge board cover, just like what the hell is going on? And I get this hotel, and this hotel is literally like a mattress on the floor with paper thin walls.
Oh, wow.
And it was the scariest hotel ever. And I was just like, I remember I messaged my mum and I was like, this is my location, this is the hotel, like, you know, if you don't hear from me, like I was actually so scared because there was people screaming and yelling in the streets, and like I actually remember putting my board cover up against the wall, and I tried to get back to the airport, but no one could understand me. They were just like, transfer 7 a.m. Like, you just got to be here then, back to the airport. And I was just like, I hardly slept that night. I was so scared. And I was just like messaging my mum all night going, oh, just like, and Dad just going, if something happens, this is where I am, call the cops, I don't know. Anyway, so made it through that night. I just didn't sleep a wink and was so scared. But then got to Guam the next day, realised I'd missed my flight, and I was just like watching everyone else like scoring that afternoon.
Oh, so you missed the internal flight.
I missed the internal flight. So I was like, I've flown all this way, and then I was going to miss this swell. And I knew that that afternoon that I was meant to arrive was the best, and then the next day was going to be kind of big and messy, but I was like, I just wanted to make it. But then so I'm in Guam and I'm like, okay, I was just so motivated, and I was like, how can I get there? And so I walk back to the airport, and this airport's like pretty small, and so I walk around to like all the private private
charter
jets.
a plane there?
Yeah, no, I actually called up a charter company.
Stop it. How can I get my PJ, please, to fly me to
You know
Belfast?
what I did? So I called up this charter company. I was like in this like hotel in Guam, and that was actually a nice hotel. It had a pool and stuff. So I was like, and it had a nice buffet. I'm like, great, I'm feeling safe here. Called up this charter company. I'm like, oh, hello, I've just got a client that really needs to get to Pohnpei.
A client?
Yeah, a client. So how much would it be to charter a jet today? They're like, oh, yeah. And that would be about $25,000 US. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to get back to my client and see what he says and if that works out. But thank you so much. We might take it.
We might take it. Not.
So then I was like, how else can I get there? So I was like, I'm going to actually walk around to the air, like the private jet hangars, and they were on the other side. So I get this cab to like the private jet zone, and I was like trying to like go knock on doors and be like, hey, is there anyone like taking a private jet to Pohnpei today? Like, I'd love to just jump on.
Hey, Prince Effie, you want to go to Pohnpei with me?
Like just me and my massive bag and my big board cover. Like, is there any room? And everyone was like, there's no flights going to Pohnpei today.
Oh, you tried hard. 10 points for effort.
I tried so hard. No, this trip had already been such a shit show. So then I ended up going to the last hangar, and it was like, the guy actually surfed, right, and he's like, oh, I can't fly you to Pohnpei, but do you want to go skydiving?
Stop
And
it.
I was like, you know what, fuck it. So he was like, oh, I feel so bad for you, but he's like, come skydive for free. And I literally was like, I went on this like full adventure where I jumped in this airplane with this guy, and he took me up, and I went skydiving in Guam. And then he was like, my kids love to surf. Do you want to come for a surf with us this summer at this little beach? And I was like, why not? You seem like a pretty good guy. So I ended up going for a surf with him.
Ended up being not so bad. You ended up finding some adrenaline just in a different way, sis.
Totally. So I found my adrenaline, ended up making it to the swell the next day, had a great time, got cut up like shit, like literally got so slammed on the reef, but had the best time because I got a couple of visions, so that was great.
Good.
So yeah. We've got a joint story because this is the funny one when we were in Lisbon together. Bloody Lisbon.
You and that joint. Something going on.
But this was me and my mum in Lisbon, right? And we were there for a surf comp, and this was when I was like too young to rent cars. So my mum came everywhere, and it was so much fun. We had the funniest time together. Basically, we were driving through Cascais, me and my mum, and then we see Flick and Warwick. And we were so excited that we were like waving at them going, hey, we hadn't seen anyone since we got there, and they were the first people we knew that we'd seen.
Australians, surfers, we know
All
them.
of a sudden, I don't know where I get it from, but my mum is just like waving, and she runs into this like pole.
Like this big bollard, and my dad and I are watching, and like, holy shit, Sarah Enova has like curbed this bollard. The thing's ripped out of the ground. And
then literally, so mum hits this thing, and I'm like, Mum, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, sorry, I was just waving at Warwick and Flick. I was like, wow, thank God that wasn't a person. And then next minute we hear like this whistle from this cop.
There was a cop on the street with a whistle, like chasing after you guys.
Yeah, there was a cop chasing us, and I swear there was like, he was like making calls, and then mum just like freaked out, didn't know what to do. So she just starts driving off, and this guy's chasing us, this cop's chasing us. And I swear there was like a cop on a horse as well that like started trying to chase us. And I'm like, step on it, mum. She just starts like,
screw.
Yeah, she just started scooting around. And it's so funny because still to this day, we if we ever go back to Lisbon, they haven't even replaced the bollard. And that happened when we were 16 years old.
We were young.
That was
back
15
then.
years ago. I'm like, wow, mum, you're wanted in Lisbon.
That is hilarious. So funny. So funny.
Dooly.
Obviously, we got on the socials and we asked you guys to send in some of your crazy travel stories. Now, what we thought would be a cool idea is if our newest member of the team, producer Kiki, oversaw that, and she was like, hey, you guys are not allowed to read them. and I'm going to read them for you. So I reckon we
Lovely.
bring in our producer, Kiki.
Yeah, bring her. Whoa, glitch. Bring her in.
Bring her in. Drum roll.
Welcome, Kiki.
Oh,
Welcome to
thank
the
you.
couch.
Oh, so nice to be here. Right in the
Are you
middle.
comfy?
Nice and comfy. I'm so comfy. I've got
Wow.
both of you.
Producer Kiki.
I absolutely love it. I literally just something popped into my brain. It's a really cute travel story. It's from the wedding that I went to in Hawaii at the end of Feb, and so the bride and the groom, Erica and Troy, who are getting married, they met on a flight home from New York to Sydney, and they sat next to each other.
That is the
And
ultimate
that
love
is
story.
how they met. Isn't that the cutest
way.
thing
Hey,
ever?
Gives me hope.
Out in the wild.
This is
in the
so
wild, in the
Yeah,
real
IRL.
world, no dating
Yes.
apps, and on a plane.
On a
together.
plane, and they
That's
literally
cute.
just started chatting. And then when they got home, they realized they lived in the same area, and were like, "Let's go on a date." And then they went on a date, and they got married.
Don't
I'm
you
like,
think that's like the
it's
perfect
literally
rom-com?
Yeah. That
It's
doesn't
like
happen
I
in
know
real life.
as well, like another couple who met on a ski lift, and they got married, and you're just like, wow, so many cute. So yeah, there's obviously some horror travel stories.
I've got some
funny
cute
travel stories
like that.
Oh, cute.
I mean, I'm not married. Like, we're not having my wedding in Hawaii. But yeah.
so good.
Well, I've done lots of traveling, but I have a thing for holiday romances. I've fallen in love
do
a few times on
you?
holiday. So the best one would have been when I was 25, and I like packed up my whole life in Perth, and I said to everyone, "I'm going to see the world. I'll be back in 6 months." And I lasted 3 weeks. I was 3 weeks into my trip, and I met a Swedish guy. Met him that night. We got on a bus together to Belize, and we spent 10 days together.
Where'd
in
you meet
Belize,
each other?
In
Just-
a hostel
oh
in
my
Mexico.
God, no way.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like, he started talking to me in like the common space, and he was really cute. And yeah, we were chatting for about an hour, and then he said he was going to Belize that night. And he asked if I wanted to go with him. I was supposed to go that morning anyway, but I missed my bus because I was hungover. And so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll get a bus ticket. I'll come with you to Belize. So fun. And you don't do that, people. That's dangerous. I don't mean only I don't mean only go
all
for
these
an
things
hour.
that we do that we're like, do not do that.
Don't do that.
This is
Don't
what
do
not
that.
Well, I
to
think
do.
you get old and you're like, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah,
but at the
that's
time,
right.
it's hard to tell someone that,
I
you know.
was in love. It was love at first sight.
Okay.
So we went to Belize. We spent 10 days on this beautiful island, Kiki, and we literally fell in love in that 10 days. Like, said, I love you. Like, let's make this work. Da, da,
This is
da.
She's moving fast, everyone.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So
But he's not in the picture, so it's sad.
Oh, it's okay. It's still a
It's a-
beautiful
it's a
love
great story.
No, it's
Okay, I
beautiful.
love this.
So he went back to Sweden, and I was like, I'm not changing my trip for a man that I've just met. I'm going to continue with my travels. So I continued for 3 weeks without him, and I was just like, every day we were on FaceTime. And so after 3 weeks, I was like, nah, that's it, moving to Sweden. So I jumped on a plane and I moved to Sweden for a year and a half. So that was a beautiful time.
That's a really
Wow.
nice travel story
That was a
about
great-
finding
yeah,
love on the road.
Yeah, no, I found love.
So
like, it didn't last
gorgeous.
forever, but that was like the best time of my life. We did
So
heaps of fun stuff
fun.
together. And then my more recent holiday romance, you know about, Laura, because I called you girls hysterically crying
Oh my God, yes. When you're
the
in,
night of your wedding.
where were you? In
I'd just gotten back from China. And I was in Thailand. My mum doesn't even know this. I went on a trip because I am a teacher, so I have lots of time off over December, January. And I went to Bali for a few days, then I went to Thailand. And when I was in Thailand, I met a German guy who was really lovely, really fun, and he was travelling with 3 other Europeans. The 4 of them had met in China where they were all doing a master's.
oh wow, cool.
Anyway, ended up traveling with them for about a week or something, and they were the nicest guys, super fun. Anyway, so I'd spent a week with them in Thailand, and I was just one of the boys. Like, it was so much fun. We went to PP, we did a whole bunch of stuff, and my plans were pretty like loose. I was solo traveling, and they were heading back to China for New Year's Eve, and they threw out the invitation. And it wasn't like this deep romance with my holiday fling. It was, sort of light and airy, and come along with us, Kiara, come to China. Like, when
We're
get
gonna
a
have a good
chance-
time.
Yeah, when we get a chance to come see China with people who have been living there, we can show you around. You've got a place to stay, blah, blah, blah. Sounded amazing. And I'm a bit like rogue on holiday. Like if somebody gives me a good idea, I'm like, yeah, we're doing
Your
that today.
spontaneity.
Are you born in November?
Yes.
Yeah, you guys are both
Dude,
Scorpios.
this is why I randomly go skydiving and paragliding with people that I've literally just met.
Yes,
and then
exactly
you
the
go
same.
on
To
holidays
China.
with them.
Yeah. So
I love it. We're adrenaline junkies.
yeah, we're junkies 100%. So they were like, come to China. And I was like, that sounds so fun. I'm really glad you invited me, actually.
I'm always like, you only live once. It's like the full just
I had
like,
that
when are you
tattooed
going
on my body.
She really did. The YOLO.
Yeah.
She had the YOLO.
there?
I did that when I was in Thailand when I was
actually-
20. It's still there.
Still has that
Wow.
one. She hasn't removed that one.
I haven't removed that one or your name.
Thank you.
That'll stay.
Oh, I've got broccoli on my neck, so.
I was looking at that
Wasn't
today,
that in China
wondering
too?
What that was. What's with China? What's with China and Lisbon?
That was my first ever tattoo, my little
you.
smiley face. And then, the one on my neck was just like kind of like a dare. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Okay.
Yeah, well, you only need the single dare, you don't need the double dare.
My mum's going to listen to this, but it actually says Shilang Kwa, which is Chinese broccoli.
That's beautiful.
And
Shilang Kwa.
it's because I was vegetarian at the time there, and everyone was like,
So it was
oh,
deep
what do
to
you? There was
you.
like hardly anything I could eat because you know how they eat so much
Yeah.
meat. There was like
Yeah.
nothing I could eat besides Shilang Kwa. They just started calling me Shilang
Shilang
Kwa
Kwa?
the whole time. And I was like, oh my God. They're like, just get broccoli tattooed on your neck, would you? Because then you can just turn around and
And be
tell
like, "This, please."
Yeah, can I just get this?
It's better than when people have like those really
That is
deep
amazing.
horny
This is so,
quotes, you know?
this is so embarrassing.
Okay, so flew to China. The first 3 days in China were amazing. I got to see China that was not in my plan. Like I rocked up to China with bikinis and like flowy sheer rat and boa dresses. And it was winter in China.
Oh, no.
Because I was like, I'm getting on a 4-hour flight.
You're
Weather
going
will be
to
the same, but it's not. So anyway, had to like wear the boys' clothes and like do a quick clothes shop the day that I got there.
Wow.
So rocked around in the same outfit for the whole 3 days. As soon as we got to China, the dynamic with the holiday fling got weird. He got really, really intense and fell in love hard. And
Couldn't blame him.
I know,
Totally.
poor
Cannot
darling,
blame
didn't
him.
stand a chance. But it started getting too much, and I tried to do the right thing and sort of say like it's a bit too much. Like bring down the intensity. Let's keep it fun. That's how it was in Thailand. We all had a good time together as a group. Let's just keep doing that. Didn't listen to me. It was the night before New Year's Eve and we were out for dinner. There was like 15 of us having this big dinner, unlimited wine. It was amazing. We're on our first wine, so he can't even blame alcohol for this conversation.
Oh, no.
He turns to me at a table of 15. Everyone's chatting, so no one else is listening. And he's like, Kiara, like, I'm falling in love with you and I can see a future with you. And I know, because I'm a bit older than him, I know that you're older than me, and so you've got to think about things like this. So, like, if I said that I would be prepared to have kids in the next 2 years, like, would you be prepared to make this work? And I just went, oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I flew to China for fun and now I've met someone who wants to put a baby in me. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I don't want to do this. So I literally got my phone out and I booked the next flight out of China because I was just like, this is so awkward. I can't stay in this situation. I can't spend New Year's Eve after this conversation.
Yeah,
so I didn't think
just
very
didn't feel
far.
right for you,
no,
at all. You
so
were
I
just
didn't
like,
think
this
far
is-
ahead.
Okay.
No, I was just like, get me out immediately. So I forgot about accommodation. I just booked the next flight. So I flew out like 4 or 5 hours after he said this to me. I was like, sorry, no.
Did you guys ever speak again?
We haven't spoken again.
Did you? And you gave him like an explanation. Though.
Yeah.
You were like,
And it was ended super nicely, and he took me to the airport, and it was all very lovely.
That's nice.
Yeah, bless him. He's an angel. Like, he's a very lovely person. But
You
like,
just were not feeling that. The feelings weren't
do you know
reciprocated
what?
in that way.
But also, I've already moved to Sweden. I'm not moving to Germany now. Like, we've done that. And so I forgot to organise accommodation for myself in Thailand, and it was New Year's Eve when I was landing back there. So I literally landed in Thailand, and it's like 10 p.m. and I was like, oh my gosh, it's 2 hours until like New Year's Eve, like till midnight, till the countdown. I don't have any accommodation. I'm in an Uber, which is taking hours to get from the airport because traffic's crazy on New Year's Eve. I'm looking for accommodation everywhere. Can't find anything for cheaper than like $3,000 a night.
Oh my God.
That's not in my budget.
Oh my God.
I'm just a teacher. Not in my budget. So Anyway, I just got the car to drop me off at a hostel, that Mad Monkey hostels. They're all over Asia. I'd stayed at them previously, so I thought I'll just get dropped there and I'll just beg them for a bed. They'll sort something out. I get there, please get me into a bed. There's no beds.
No.
I was like,
homeless on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's like 10 minutes to midnight. I'm trying to call Flick, but she's at your wedding. I'm sitting on a bench by myself out the front of this hostel, crying my eyes out, just like, what have I done? Like, what mess am I in? I was in China a few hours ago and now I'm in Thailand alone and I've got nowhere to sleep. And I slept on like a pool bed.
You don't reckon you could have just like lied to him and made it through New Year's? And then
I should have, and that's why I was crying. That's why I was crying, because I was so annoyed at myself.
Really
I was
hard,
like,
though.
I just panicked. Like in the moment, I just like,
you're like, oh, it's not right that I'm
fight
here
or
anymore.
flight. I was
abort
like,
mission.
Yeah. I mean, get me out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, whoopsie. So slept on the pool lounge. And then the people working at the hostel, bless them, they knew that I was sleeping on the pool lounge and they felt bad for me, obviously. So the second somebody checked out, they came and woke me up. So it was like 5 a.m.
Cool.
and they got me into a bed.
Oh, wow, Kiki, that's a fucking wild ride.
Whoopsie. So we're done with the holiday romance.
Okay.
For now.
Yeah, I'm business focused now. I'm all about the podcast now. No time.
Dive into it. We won't leave you hanging on New Year's Eve. Always a bed here.
No time for boys now.
No time for boys.
Strictly work.
Boys.
Totally.
So,
oh my gosh. So we're going to get into our listener.
I had a ball
writings.
yesterday. This was a great first job. So obviously Flick and I are in close quarters and I was just sat there like reading all these stories yesterday. And Flick
Thank you everyone for sending them in
my
though.
Gosh,
that is
so good.
So rad.
Yeah, and they sent in really good ones, but Flick just kept hearing me giggle. So the first one is from a pretty brave girl. She went travelling through Guatemala. So when I was 21, my friend and I were travelling in Guatemala with a tour group. We'd been super careful the whole trip, no handbags, no risks. But that night we let our guard down. We were on a quiet island just going to the bar next door. Hardly anyone was there. What could go wrong? At one point in the night, I went to the bathroom, my friend coming with me to fix her hair, when suddenly she starts screaming my name. I run out of the cubicle to find some guy is grabbing her. I start swinging at the guy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Pop off, sis. Get in there with your fists. What confidence.
I know,
No, this is why we all need to learn a bit of self-defense for on the road.
Oh, scary
Jiu-jitsu.
though.
That's
Danger.
so gnarly.
He rips at her bag, but we wrestle it back. Then he turns to me, grabs mine, snaps the strap and bolts. Not the end of the story. Adrenaline kicks in and I decide to chase after him. He's pretty slow and I actually manage to catch up.
Yes.
When he turns down an alley, then realise, oh shit, what am I doing? He spins around and comes at me. I panic and yell at him, take the money, just give me my phone. Instead, he punches me square in the mouth.
Holy.
What?
I drop, partly from the impact, mostly from shock. I've never been punched before. By the time I process what just happened,
this is
he's
heavy.
long gone. Moral of the story, don't chase robbers. Mate,
That's so gnarly.
she is lucky he punched her. She was
What
in
if he-
Guatemala.
What if he pulled a knife? Or worse, a gun?
God, that is so
Okay,
scary.
hey, big ovaries for actually having a dig, 100%. So scary for actually having a dig at the same time.
Oh, I thought you said big ovaries for having a dig.
I thought that too. I thought that
Big
too.
ovaries for having a dig, I did.
A dig. No, I thought you said a dig.
A dig. A dig, D-I-G.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God, yeah. Seriously, props to you, sis. You are a weapon.
You're a weapon,
That's
but
so
be
shit.
careful.
No, so she
Definitely.
lost all of her stuff.
She lost her stuff, but she didn't get
Yeah,
stabbed, so
I
that's
know,
a positive. In Guatemala,
that-
it's a risky
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, those situations you kind of just got to like take
You
your
just got
losses.
to,
hey?
take it.
Okay.
Okay, I hope I can even read the next two. They're pretty funny. While visiting a wildlife sanctuary in Zimbabwe, I had a very unexpected run-in with one of the locals. A baboon managed to escape
Why is the word baboon just so funny?
and bit me on the arse.
Rabies.
I know. She did actually tell me that she didn't get rabies, yeah. I did what any rational person would do in this situation. I got blind drunk on Fireball to numb the pain. Well, Turns out Fireball doesn't just dull the pain, it also destroys your coordination. I ended up tripping over on concrete and giving myself a massive black eye.
Oh,
so
my.
to sum up, I went to see the animals, got personally attacked by one, tried to self-medicate with cinnamon-flavoured regret, and left looking like I'd lost a bar fight.
Cinnamon-flavoured regret.
God, that is so good. No, I got scratched by a monkey in Bali and had to get all those injections in my
rabies
head.
shot.
Like, it
Remember
just
the
like
chips?
What chips?
The baboon that tried to eat my chips
What?
when we were in Bali, and I shoot it away, and then it tried to eat the chips again, and you were like, you can't eat.
Oh, yeah, I was trying you not do that because of the rabies. Yes.
Oh, my
you continued to
gosh.
eat the bag of chips after the monkey had been in the bag of chips. I'm like,
oh
Kiara,
my God.
stay away from the bag of chips. Rabies could be there.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's
cheek. Yes. So be careful when you go to Africa.
for the baboons. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get
the
bitten on the
wildlife.
bum.
Oh my
Don't
God.
get bitten on the bum by baboon.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's gnarly.
Okay, this is my favourite. My first family holiday with my boyfriend's parents and brother was a trip to Bali. His parents went all out and booked 3 suites, one of them being the deluxe suite for themselves. When we arrived at the hotel, the staff led all of us to the deluxe suite first, presumably to show off its luxury, before taking the rest of us to our rooms. But as soon as we stepped inside, it became clear that this was not just a fancy room. It was a full-blown kinky sex dungeon.
First family holiday with your boyfriend.
Are you kidding me?
No. Wait, what? Did it have like mirrors on the roof and
Oh,
shit?
yeah.
Tell me more.
Okay, we're talking red lighting, mirrors everywhere, including above the bed.
Great.
And a disco ball in the bathroom. For ambiance, I guess. There was even a strategically placed couch in front of the shower. And then there were the chains and the tie points.
Stop it.
Like around the room in different
What?
parts of the room.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Is this supposed to be a family holiday getaway?
Where
Yeah.
did they book? And did they not look at the photos before?
Holy dooly.
Photos, right? I know.
Would it ask the mum? You'd be like, I did not book this.
Oh, yeah, we get
Dad booked this.
Daddy booked this, Daddy booked
Maybe
this.
it was a surprise from Dad.
Mum and Dad were supposed to get
Maybe
the room.
it was intentional.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, no.
Okay, the real showstopper though, guys, and we have photos of this. It's amazing. The real showstopper, a cabinet stocked with whips, feathers, silk ties, and an alarming number of butt plugs, including, for some reason, squirrel tail butt plugs.
You're kidding me.
Guys, there's a photo with like a whole cabinet full of squirrel tail butt plugs
You're kidding me.
in a
Guys.
hotel room.
Hang on a second.
How many
Who
people
has-
share these things?
I know, it's not good.
That is nuts. Okay, one thing for like a kink room, sure. But the toys?
Yeah, but like,
No.
All the guests to use?
you know how it's like, you go
It's
into
just alarming.
You go into a hotel room and you have to use sheets that have been used before, but
Yeah.
that they've washed.
Yeah.
They just like wash these butt plugs.
Put them in like the dishwasher maybe. Dishwasher safe.
Where do you
toys?
send sex toys to get washed and go
And
back
Dry
into the
cleaner if they're squirrel
Holy
tails, I
dooly.
think.
That is just...
Holy dooly.
Wild. So she finished it off with, my boyfriend's mother took one look and refused to stay. Absolutely not, no way. So being the loving, selfless children that we are, we bravely volunteered to take one for the team and stay in the kinky suite. So we're very lucky that listener has sent us photos and has given us permission to share those photos if we would like to do
Holy
that.
dooly, guys. That's
Oh my God. I just think
lot.
like exactly what you said, Laura. Who didn't look at a preview of the room before they booked that stuff? I feel like it's the first thing you do when you book a hotel is, what does this joint look like? What do the bedrooms look like? Like, surely if you're booking this, you're going to be like, oh, there's a few chains on that wall. That's a bit odd. There's a few whips over there.
weird decor.
Why is there a mirror on the ceiling? Like, surely you're suspect when you're looking at this stuff.
Oh my gosh, especially when you see the photos. Like, there's no way that even like a nice daytime light could have made it look less dungeony. It's pretty wild.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. That's a good story. All right. Thanks to our listeners for sending in some wild stories.
I know. Thanks,
guys.
Well, and
I loved
that was
reading
all.
those.
Yeah, we'll have to do that again as well because we got so many good ones, and we'll have to share some more soon. So I guess we want to do a new little segment to finish things off. We obviously some weeks we can do our little quotes of the week that we've screenshotted, but I think we want to highlight people that each week have just, kind of stood out and inspired us. So this week, go Flick, who've we kind of both chosen that have been like absolute incredible stories.
For us, we couldn't go past Joanne Defay. I feel like she's been so inspiring. She just competed last week.
She's a professional surfer.
Yep, she competed last week in Portugal in the last event on the WSL World Tour at 16 weeks pregnant, which is incredible. And after that, she announced, okay, I'm taking a step back from surfing. Obviously, while I'm growing my little baby girl, I think it is.
Yeah, girl.
So it's just super inspiring, obviously, for both of us being athletes. But yeah, Jojo. There was cool photos that got shared, and I think she shared a couple as well on her profile where you can fully see her bump in the competitors area. And she's got the bump and she's got her board with her jersey on. She's about to go out for a heat.
What can't women do?
I know.
So
she's
cool.
growing a life and she's out there being badass.
I know. Because I know like Lisa Anderson had a baby and came back to the tour and won a world title. And I mean, I know Carissa Moore, she's just had her little girl as well. And I feel like there's no doubt she'll come back and give competing a crack again when it feels right. And I feel the same with Joanne. She loves competing, and I think, so cool to have a kid and then come back, and it's because so many of the guys on tour, they get to travel with their family, and then they
don't have to have that time off, or the 9 months of growing a child, almost 10 months of growing something, and whereas the men are like, cool, yep, I'm having a baby, but my wife's doing the work and I'm still competing. Obviously they're there supporting their wife, but you know what I mean, like it's
just
a different journey.
Yeah, and like Justine DuPont's done it in big wave surfing as well, and she's back surfing huge waves and doing her thing, and I think her baby's like almost 1 now, so it's so cool. To be amazing to fast forward and see them back doing their thing after they've got their little groms in tow and getting to watch like, wow, my mum's a badass. So cool.
Yeah.
And I guess that kind of wraps up today because we're literally have talked for so long.
Yeah, we have. So thanks for listening, guys. We're back, season 2 at 1. Oh yeah.
Woo-hoo. Bye.